destroying a nation is actually rather easy, and we're going to go through how it's happening in real time, because we're living it. And we'll start off just with a segment called Is Tony Blair Based? This was a premium hangout we did on Lotus Heaters, me and Cole. Funnily enough, no. Yeah, all right.
There you go. How did you get an hour out of that when that was all you needed to say?
No, it wasn't, because you need to go through and see what he's done to this country, so do go and enjoy that. But most recently, I saw his party were actually proposing that they need to give reparations to victims of climate change, like the British taxpayer. Like, we need to have our money stolen from us and have it sent off to God knows where, probably into the politicians' own bank accounts, rather than actually going anywhere. Yeah, no, I think reparations for the British people first, for what you have done to this country, and then we'll have any other conversation.
All the reparations I need is deporting. Mass deportation.
Nope,
deport.
I think the British people deserve actual cash money for what's been done to them. Because if we go to the first one here, it's not just the UK, of course. I just want to mention here, Lord Miles recently went to the Mexican-American border, and he did this video. This is horrific, actually. So
I'm sorry, I just like the name illegally crossing the Mexican border. I assume that was very easy to do.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hit play on this. There should have been a timestamp on this, which is that if just hit play just to show the place, which is before he crosses the border. He's in the American side, and there's this cemetery here that has been put up by the authorities, and it's literally just filled with corpses of people who died crossing the border, and a lot of them are kids. Like, the parents dragged their kids across this river, which is not safe in the slightest, just because they wanted money. They don't want security, otherwise you would have stopped at any other point. And there's just loads of dead kids and dead dads and mums and randos, and the bodies are all fresh as well. Like, you can see the crosses are made with PVC piping.
Yeah, they look very recent.
He goes through the dates, and it's just like, yeah, no, this is a couple months ago, little baby here, a couple months ago, just all of them. And I didn't know this was a reality.
Is this local man the one basically tending to this graveyard as well?
I don't remember what his role was, but he's showing miles around. As you can see here, yeah, there's John Doe who's dead, and then baby John Doe, I think, next to it. There we are. So you can pause it there. It's just the point of the evil that is, well, not enforcing your border. Because if you don't, you end up with this. You end up with people breaking in via routes which are incredibly dangerous just because they want to. They want access, so they're willing to risk their kids' lives. Parent of the year for these people. Anyway, but if we go to the ONS, the Office for National Statistics in the UK, they have some good news, everyone. They're willing to celebrate that 1 in 6 people in England and Wales are foreigners. Cool. Thanks for that. That's a weird thing to celebrate, but whatever.
I can go outside, I can see it already, but, nice to have the official numbers.
Oh, hi here. But we also have many a meme, obviously being born from, well, this deal. This is the funniest one I saw from No Context Brits. Romanian arrived in the UK on Friday, stole on Saturday, and jailed on Monday.
Chilled on Sunday.
Oh, what else is he going to do on Sunday? It's God's day. It's just, the Romanian meme is real. Literally turns up and next day stealing stuff. Okay. And there's many an ethnic group which are taking advantage of the way we operate ourselves, but we won't go into those at the moment because, well, we're just looking at the pure numbers, which is not about foreign people for anyone who's watching who is confused about such things. It's not about an individual foreign person being bad or anything of the sort. It's the pure numbers, because remember, it's a numbers game. Like, there's not, oh, I hate foreign food. It's, well, do I really want more than 50% of where I live to be foreign? As in, no one there is English. I thought, like, part of the reason I moved out of Reading was to get out of there and move to England. It's not been successful.
Shame.
And the number of places where that will be successful is continuously depleting. As we can see here, just the data from 1851 till now. This is the foreign-born population, 0.6% in 1851. Remember, history is a whitewash from Doctor Who? No, it wasn't. 1901, 1.5. 1951, 4.2. 2001, 8.3. 2011, 12.7, and now 1 in 6. Completely.
Sorry, what was the Doctor Who thing saying history was a whitewash? I've forgotten that.
Oh, there's an episode of one of the new ones where
I've not watched.
They're back in the 1800s, and his companion goes, "Oh, there's loads of black people around here. I didn't know that." And he's like, "Yes, history is a whitewash." I was like, "Just bollocks. Just made up bollocks.
Piss off.
It's just not true. It's just the people at the BBC invented their own fiction."
I think half the people at the BBC need to be charged for treason.
It's just what are you doing? Like, you're just trying to propaganda those people on things that aren't real. Anyway, this dude has the stats, of course, as mentioned. But if we move forwards, there's some worry with the Conservatives, as you see here. The Telegraph reports that Tory MPs are worried about a new party being formed over migration, because the numbers are out. You've had 12 years to fix this. You didn't. So, go to hell.
You made it worse.
Yeah, literally. And we also have to remember that immigrants built Britain. Remember this narrative? Indeed, after the war, the immigrants we all have here, they built the country.
Do you remember how, what's his name? Book Break Man. I've forgotten his name. Tariq Nasheed. You know he's got his foundational Black America thing. Is this foundational Black England? Is this what this is?
Well, it's not nothing to do with race. That's the other thing to mention for people who might not understand the difference. Foreigners, funnily enough, come in all races. It's just I've had a few people I've spoken to about this not get this. I didn't think no one would get this, but yeah. Funnily enough, Germans, same race as the English, but not the same ethnic group, so still foreigners. And we can see the numbers here. As you can see, in the last 10 years, 42% of all foreigners in the UK. 10 years before that makes it 27%, so go back to the 90s, and you're already at over 75% of the foreigners here. If you look at those who came to rebuild Britain after the war, it's 1%. And you have, for 1951. Yep. Yeah, you want to include the 60s? Sure, that makes up to 3%. Nothing. Nada. Not even significant. I didn't put it in here, but I don't know if you can go back on this image, John, and click on the quote tweet. Because I want to go through, I should have added it, which is just the Conservative Party's manifesto as well. So if you go to the tweet we were on, and then go to the quote tweet in there, then if you go to that thread and scroll down, we can find the Conservative Party manifestos as well. Because the change is just amazing. I don't know if you know this, but if you just go back and look at the promises.
No, I've not looked at their manifestos, their old ones at least.
But you just track like the past. So if we click on the fourth one first, let's do that, because then we can go back in time and check out the past. Because we have here, this was Boris's manifesto, saying there will be fewer lower skilled immigrants and overall numbers will come down, and we will ensure that British people are always in control of immigration. That was 3 years ago.
Sorry.
That didn't happen.
That didn't work out, did it?
But if we'll go back, just one image. So if you go left, we can see, I think this is in 2017, controlled, sustainable migration with net migration down to tens of thousands, a hard cap that was never implemented.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they get the idea from? If we go back one more, we can go back, I think this is 2015, hard cap of tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands. You didn't implement it in 2015 either, so there's 7 years to implement that. They didn't do that. Turns out it's longer than that. We go back again.
This is 2010?
This is 2010.
All right, okay.
So we will take steps to take net migration back to levels in the 1990s, tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands. So that's 12 years you had to implement a simple cap that failed.
They keep just rephrasing the same promise and not doing it.
You were elected. Each one of these manifestos, the only reason I'm showing you is because they actually won the election on these manifestos, and they just didn't do it. Thanks, guys. And if you go out of this, the tweet below that is actually, I've just put the Labour manifestos over the years. The Labour manifesto in 2010 is actually more right-wing than what we have now. Which is amazing.
Control immigration through our Australian-style points-based system.
That's what we implemented. The current Labour Party thinks that's fascism. But they also say, ensuring that growth returns, we see rising levels of employment and wages, not rising immigration and requiring newcomers to earn citizenship and its entitlements it brings.
That's a Labour that's saying we want to support domestic labour.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
We understand people's concerns about immigration and whether it will undermine their wages, job prospects, or put pressure on public services or housing. Sounds like UKIP. It is UKIP.
It legit does.
And we have acted. Asylum claims are now down to the levels of the early 1990s. Well, they're not anymore. And we will use our new Australian point-style system to ensure that the growth returns. We see rising employment, blah, 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 blah. Not the unworkable Tory quota, as they call it, which was never implemented. So it's just...
I mean, I guess they were right that it was unworkable because they didn't even bother.
Well, it was workable, they just didn't bother. But if you go back, you can also see the manifestos the Tories did lose on, and even there, it's just like, you can track the past, which is amazing. We have, 2005, where they say, yeah, we need to bring it down. And then before then, I just noticed that they never talk about migration, because it just was never an issue.
It wasn't a problem.
No, it's a new thing. Anyway, sorry, complete sidetrack for a history lesson, but we'll go to Swindon's future, because it's where I live, so I'm biased. There you have it. We graphed this from the available data of people born in the UK, and...
I like your choice of colour scheme here.
Something happened in the 1990s. We have no idea. Something happened.
The browning of Swindon.
Well, it's nothing to do with browning. It's got nothing to do with people's race. It's entirely to do with whether you're foreign born, which, again, comes from every race. But we can see here just since 2021, that's where we are, and then tracking it to where it'll be less than 50% of people in Swindon are born in the UK, which would be weird. I mean, if you continue this graph, it's 50% of 2060. If you continue this graph, I think it's by 2080. Nobody in Swindon is born in the UK, which would be hilarious. say the least. What a mad world. Like, everything is just Heathrow.
I was going to say, I wouldn't even say that it's out of the realm of possibility if we carry on the way we are.
No, it should be funny. If you go to the next one here, we can see we also left off the story of just local investigations. We called up the hotels, and they just hung up as soon as I mentioned, can I ask you some questions? Very open. I think we just check in on those folks, because I'm still pissed. So
Callum's coming back for more.
No, I'm still storming. Anyway,
he's ready for a rough and tumble ears. Ooh.
We'll get to this one because I noticed, because again I have to walk past this place like 4 times a day. So we get the next link
and
here.
Get glared at by the migrants.
There's these illegal aliens. There's just, I can see in the windows these guys in this place. They got what is that? 2 new pairs of shoes?
That's at least 2 boxes.
Yeah. On the front, they've actually put up paper so you can't see into the hotel because they're very transparent. One of the guys mentioned that apparently they were there when that fell down, and behind it was just a huge pile of shoes from Adidas, Nike, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Like, huh.
Well,
funny that.
I mean, interestingly enough, when we first moved to Swindon, my missus was working at a hotel that's on the outskirts of town, and they had an entire section of the hotel, which is a very fancy hotel, very classy, high-end hotel, that was just blocked off so that they could house all of the asylum seekers and migrants. And you know what they did all day? Drink and cause trouble.
I'm surprised.
And then spend ironically enough, well, unsurprisingly, they also spent a lot of money on shoes.
Yeah. You go to the next one here. Just a quick question. How do you pay for that? Because you can't. Because if you're legally working within the system, which you've illegally already broken into, so I don't know why we'd expect you to follow the law. But if you were following the law, you're getting £40.85 per week, per person, to pay for your food and toiletries. And how much money are you saving a week to spend on new shoes? Not to mention, how much are you saving a week to spend on new bikes? Because if you go to the next one here, I was just walking past last night, I noticed that this hotel, these bikes aren't always there, but all of a sudden, all these bikes were there at the end of the Sunday. 11 bikes. To also, Just Eat, coincidentally, isn't hiring any new people. I checked, just looking at what the career
when was the last time
like.
you ordered food and had an English person drop it off for you? Mine was a long time ago.
When I lived in Amesbury.
Also, I do think you're being a bit charitable to just assume that they're going out
buying bikes.
No, delivering food.
Yeah, that's the other thing, which is at best they're just delivering food. At worst, yeah, there are other opportunities in Swindon, to say the least. They also, if you scroll down on this, we can see the only statement from the MP is that these people should be paying tax. I think you might know more than me, so I'd like to know more. Because if your complaint is they're not paying tax, then you know they're all illegally working. They're all competing for British jobs, which they're not allowed to do legally, because they're meant to be claiming asylum. Remember? That war they're fleeing from, which, yeah, they totally are. Anyway, if we move forward, we can also just check out how many bike thefts there are, just the local area. 11 over the last 4 months. Convenient number.
Very interesting.
It was 3 the same period a year ago in the area. That's in just a small area of Swindon as well.
And just how many exactly bikes was it again? It was 11 bikes outside of the hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, move forward. We'll go to the next one, because there's just, you might think, well, you have to have proof of identity to work in the UK. Like, the companies have to check it. Well, we have evidence that they're just faking it. So this is some Swindon account for the police, noting that, very sorry to whoever was ordering their food from a well-known food delivery app. Unfortunately, the driver had no license, no valid insurance, and a defective tyre, was also wanted by immigration. Interesting, that. That's a guy who's driving a car, so he's doing very well for himself, for someone who has no right to be here in the slightest. Also drives around with no license or insurance, so if he kills someone, too bad. If he breaks up your car, too bad. I love justice. Anyway, so there's that. And, well, these guys, who I suspect, if they're working, can probably also get around that check pretty quickly as well. And probably someone's organising that for them. If we go to the next one as well, we just let's check in with the whole country, shall we? Because that's just where we are. We have the fact that 1 in 180 Albanians lives in the UK currently waiting an asylum application. 0.5% of all Albania living in England's hotels for free. There's a reason for this, though. All Albanian men are gay.
Really?
It's a weird argument. If we go to the next one here.
Okay, have we got practical evidence of this?
Well, apparently they're all coming here because they're gay, and Albania, being a Muslim country, being gay is a sin.
Yes, they're being persecuted for being gay,
yes.
Which is why 1 to 2%.
Have to take them in. Yeah. They couldn't stop anywhere along the way.
Where else could they go? I mean, France, which is a demonstrably gayer country than England, still kicked them out.
Bosnia, still are Muslims. Croatia, yep. Slovenia, Austria, Germany, Then to Belgium.
And Germany's definitely gayer than England.
No, but it's also just like all Albanian men are gay, but also being gay is a sin in Albania. Like, riddle me that. That wouldn't make any sense. Obviously, it's also just untrue. If we go to the next one here, we have sadder news about life, because life is not pretty. Teenage boy raped at a hotel housing refugees in London. Right. Another alleged sexual assault against a child is said to have taken place in the same facility in Waltham Forest. So there's two. In another incident, September, a 17-year-old boy was charged with 1 count of sexually touching a child at the age of 13.
And if I remember correctly, who was it that Diane Abbott blamed this on?
Tories made him rape. It was an amazing argument, but it's not the only place where this sort of thing is taking place. And question you've got to ask, what are these people claiming asylum from? They're claiming
homophobic persecution, obviously.
Justice. Like, call me suspicious, but I think a rapist might be trying to run away from previous rapes he's committed. I think he might have a history of this, even if he's doing it, just the fact that he's doing it so openly. I mean, a child rapist as well, so literally even worse. If we go to the next one here, we can see some news. This is in Derbyshire. 400 migrants staying at a hotel have been accused of mugging, sexual harassment of women and girls, dealing drugs, and defecating in a public park. So the residents have set up a 24-hour security patrol to deal with that. Things are going well.
At least the residents have tried to do something, I suppose.
We have the next one here. We have an interview from GB News, who decided to go down and ask this chap somewhere in, I think this is in Berkshire, and here's some very interesting things to say. Let's check in with someone who has to live the horrible, horrible life of such people. Let's play the first clip.
You stay at that hotel? Yes, how is it? Nice?
No.
Why not?
But we're living in one room, 2 people.
Okay. Oh, what's the room like?
A small room, they never been clean the room at all. No one's cleaning the room at all. We're just living like animals.
Okay. And so, are you both sharing a bed?
Yes.
Then clean the room.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can clean the room. Also, one room between 2 people. I mean, he goes, oh, we're living like animals. You expect, we're packed in like sardines, 20 people to a single bedroom room. No. 2 people.
Me and another guy stay in a hotel room. We're living like animals because no one comes and cleans up after us.
Sorry, mate. If you're an asylum seeker, I imagine you've probably experienced worse conditions on the way, right?
No. But you're the only people in that room. If you're living like animals, guess who's to blame? Like, you're the one who are making the place like an animal pigsty. If that's your complaint, I just can't get over. You would stand there and be like, no one comes and cleans up after me. What are you, a child? No, you're not. You may be claiming on your asylum application. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll go to the next clip in which he tells us about the horrible, horrible food he's given.
What's the food like?
We just survive.
What kind of stuff do you eat?
What we give, we just eat. We live about more than 45 people here.
45 people.
Yeah. So just eat what we give us. All of them we don't like food at all.
You don't like the food?
We don't like the food at all.
What kind of food is it?
It's like some rice or chicken, morning time cornflakes.
What kind of food do you want?
Well, food is a medicine. If you don't eat food like a medicine, the time you'll come eat like medicine like a food. So diet is important for human beings.
What an ungrateful twat.
I eat rice, chicken, and cornflakes as the examples he gave us.
And then when asked what he actually wants, he goes, food's some medicine. You need to be good diet.
Means nothing.
What's wrong with, chicken and rice are often parts of a good diet.
When you hear about the UK in any foreign land, you know what they usually say is about how good our food is, how flavourful it is, how it's amazing anywhere in the... Yeah, he knew. Like, the entire bloody world knows about our opinions.
It's a meme. It's a global meme. I would at least hope that it would keep people away. Leave me and my stodgy food to myself.
He's complaining about our preferences for food, and it's like, well, okay, right.
If you want, spicy foods, go back to wherever you came from.
Well, he tells us where he's come from, which is not a war. Let's play the last clip.
How long have you been staying there?
I'm the whole England. I'm living 8 years, the whole England.
So you've been in England 8 years?
8 years, yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, okay. How did you get here?
I come from Cali.
You came across the channel? What was that like?
I come here normal 2015.
And so what?
I don't know now what's the situation look like.
So if you came in 2015, how come you're still staying in a hotel?
Well, the system is hard. You have to wait for results to live. You remain to live to remain. Yes or no. That's the only thing.
And it's taken that long. Can I ask why you wanted to come to England?
Well, I've been in about 2 years in the military.
In Ethiopia?
Yes. And I ran out from the military. I come here.
So, are you seeking asylum?
Yeah.
From what?
But because I'm not safe if I go to back home.
Why? So why? Yeah, just explain why you're not safe.
It's the war. I was fighting for the political groups in Ethiopia. So I'm wanted if I go over there. That's why I come here.
He's lying.
Well, yeah, I don't believe him.
When he came here, there was no war in Ethiopia. There hadn't been for 15 years.
So
he's just lying.
So he did military service and then decided, I want a big piece of that British pie.
Well, I believe I might be wrong, but I believe there is national service in Ethiopia. So he presumably did his national service and then just decided he'd become a beggar. And he got to us, and we were stupid enough to take him in because we're that dumb. It was like, oh yeah, foreign beggars, give them anything.
Oh, poor baby.
A beggar who was in the British Army, get over yourself, mate. That's just how our system works. And he's arguing, presumably, that there's a war there now. It wasn't when you came here. It wasn't for years before you came here. It wasn't for years after you came here. You just felt like it. Go to hell. Go to hell. Why are we taking military-age beggars? Sorry, people who've served in the military as well.
And now he has the gall to complain about the fact that, I've only got one room between two people. I get fed all this chicken and rice. It's just not good enough.
I was fighting for political groups.
Why am I not in the...
but considering there was no war, what political groups were you fighting for? Are you telling us you were a terrorist? I don't know what else to make of that statement. There's no war, but you were fighting for some political groups.
Maybe he made some spicy jokes on Ethiopian Twitter. Who knows?
I was fighting for Al-Qaeda, and then I have to leave.
I voiced support for Elon Musk.
I don't know, but it's just none of that makes sense. None of your time frame makes sense for you fleeing any kind of war, so that's just you lying. Your English skills are good enough to tell the truth, and that's what we're dealing. Literal. I see people in the chat saying Gibbs, unironically. Like there are plenty of beggars in the UK who are there for drug reasons or mental health, blah blah blah. You could help them. You could solve that if you were the government, and instead you would just take foreign beggars because why? Anyway.
I would so much rather see our public money going to our own people.
Yeah. If we go to the next link here, we can see some more news, though, about how grateful these people are. Riot police were called into an immigration removal centre in Heathrow as detainees left their rooms and entered the courtyard armed with weapons such as knives during a power cut. Yeah, anyway, they could work on our NHS, I reckon.
Just doctors and nurses.
Yeah, it's really easy to destroy a country. Literally, that's all you have to do. We got the next one here. We have The Sun, who are breaking story. Afghan migrant... Sorry, so illegal beggar, who moved to the UK after raping and murdering a girl 13 in Vienna to be extradited back to Austria.
Where he is to be...
So he raped and murdered a girl in Austria, sorry, a child, and then went, well, I've got to claim asylum from the Austrian government by getting into England.
And England went, poor baby, poor baby.
Those Austrians, they might arrest him for rape and murder.
Yeah, we know what those Austrians are capable of, lads.
I don't know how you say it. Rusuli Zabud Abdullah is accused of killing Leon Waller, 13, after she was found wrapped in a roll of carpet that was spotted dumped under a tree in the centre of the city in 2020. He wrapped up the corpse and dumped it in the centre of the city. He gained access to the country illegally. Oh, really? I'm shocked. Using a fake name to slip past immigration officials in Dover. Yeah, that's all it takes. Literally, what's your name? Peter Griffin. Oh, come on in, Peter Griffin. Really? That's what the security checks consist of. What's your name? Well, you wouldn't lie.
It's Intel table.
Yep. Cool guy, Intel. Before being put up by the government in an Ibis hotel in Whitechapel in East London. Fun fact, Whitechapel is where Jack the Ripper's from. Leon was reportedly raped and brutally attacked by 4 Afghan men before being left to die in a street in June 2016-2020. So it's not just him, there were 3 other guys, all Afghans, who were fleeing the Taliban? This presume? They were fleeing what, being murdered and raped, perhaps? So that they went and murdered and raped European children.
It's the only logical response.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And they have no reason to be in the UK. Really, the next one here, I just want to show, if you got the time now, what are these people doing? Like, these are guys I met in Serbia. They are completely safe. If they're looking for safety, they've got it. They said to me they're safe, but they're not looking for safety. They're looking for money. They all said they either wanted to come to Germany, France, or London. And, yeah, they're going to come and be our neighbours. And guess what? Well, I don't think they had the best of intentions, to say the least. And we can verify that just for the people you're letting in. And your security checks consist of, what's your name? That's it. Fantastic. What a beautiful system. It really is that easy to destroy a country, and the West is feeling it. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on the Doomsday Book. If you'd like to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you, and goodbye.